Ding, ding, ding. Welcome back, everybody. It is a bright and beautiful and sunny day here in the A, and we are back inside the infamous ring. I am Trey Amazing, favorite part-time stripper, part-time pastor, but full-time dating commentator, and this is Ringside's very own Corner Confessions. Today it is special, and I cannot underscore that enough. Today is a very special day. We have acclaimed actor Afemo Omilami. Did I get that right?
Afemo, like famous.
Afemo.
Yeah.
Omilami. I can dig it. I was practicing. I was like, okay, I want to get that right. And he is in the ring with us today, about to drop some very serious and prolific words of wisdom about black love, and you guys definitely want to pay attention, take notes. Afemo is originally from Virginia. Okay, VA in the house. He is a husband, a doting father, and he has a very, and I do mean very impressive filmography. Some of his more well-known performances include Forest Gump, Remember the Titans, Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Idlewild, great movie, The Firm, shot in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. Indeed. Best of Enemies, Hidden Figures, some of it shot at Morehouse, just want to put that out there, Ray, and so much more. Welcome to the ring.
Thank you for having me. This is an honor and a privilege. I'm glad you and I finally said we're going to make time to do this.
Indeed. No, we're gonna make it happen. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, we got to get you in front of camera.
Yes.
And we got to get things rolling.
Nothing's going to stop us.
That's right. And so you've been married, you have a lovely wife, you have children, you have grandchildren. How long have you been married?
This September 11th will be 47 years.
47 years. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You're knocking on the big 50. Almost.
And look, once September 11th happened with the Trade Center and all, that kind of did a little something to what that date means for us as well. You know what I mean? It put a capper on it, and we were like, wow, this is amazing that all of this is going to happen. And here we are standing in the midst of all of it. So it has its own special significance, But it all started out, I came to Morehouse. That's what got me down south. Okay.
All right. You're a Morehouse alum?
I didn't finish because I ended up going to NYU, study with Lee Strasberg, which we'll get into all that part later.
Okay.
But that's what got me here. I was looking for something to do, and they said, oh yeah, there's this reverend down there. He likes to feed people and do stuff. Maybe you can go volunteer. I said, okay, that sounds like something I can do. So I go down to this famous place. The church is still there right now at the corner of Martin Luther King and James P. Brawley. It used to be Chestnut Street in those days. Now, the Abernathy family, they own that church now. It's a historic site that they said nobody's going to tear it down as far as they are concerned. So I start serving. I meet this wonderful man, Hosea Williams. I'm like, wow, who is this guy? He was a commander. You could tell he was somebody, with the bravado and the charisma. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the right place. So I started working with him. And he said, what are you doing over there in Morehouse? I said, I'm political science, but I like acting too. I think I'm going to be doing it. He said, okay, great, because I'm going to be doing films. I'm going to be doing plays to take to the projects, people who can't come to the theater. I thought that was very interesting because he had been over and saw what Mao Zedong had done, because he had gone over and met him, and he was influenced by the Cultural Revolution. And he wanted to bring the ideas of that back to the black community. So he produced a play called Contributions, Ted Shine. And my wife was playing the starring role, and I was playing a supporting role. And we started working together in that play, and that's how we started becoming friends. And 2 years later, I married her in 1977.
All right.
But the play was very revolutionary because it was about an old black woman who got tired of seeing black men and women beat and killed by the police down south. I was leading the protest movement. And of course, they had beat us up and all, and she was furious. She said, oh no, you ain't beating my grandson up. So here's the revolutionary part. she ended up poisoning the sheriff because she cooked and took care of the sheriff. She poisoned him and watched him slowly. And now you got to realize this. Ted Shine wrote this back in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So to even come up with a kind of thought like that was pretty revolutionary, that you're going to take it to that extreme. And that's what drew me into it. I'm like, wow, I haven't done a play like this where we took action to this degree. And we became friends. 2 years later, I married her. I don't know if her father really ever, because actors, he wanted somebody solid. Like, man, my daughter gonna marry this guy. I don't know if he's gonna get a paycheck on Friday or not.
Somebody with a stable career.
Yeah, exactly, which I understood because my own parents had issues. Go get a job, son. Go do something where you're gonna bring the check home. They're blue collar people. Nobody had branched out to even think about film, TV, and that, much less acting, because there wasn't many of us on the television in those days.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how we got together, and our friendship was really the foundation. And we started working together, saying, yeah, let's take our talent out to the community. Let's take it to the projects, because they'll never come to the theater.
You gotta meet them where they at.
And we started building on that and building on that. And then the serving of the community came later when her dad said, yeah, now I want you two to help me feed the community. And that was the beginning of how we started off together back that far.
I can dig it. I can definitely dig that. I appreciate that. I mean,
Man.
And look how far it's taken you. Look at where you are.
Because we put aside the little stuff that always tear you apart. The little petty stuff. We had to get over all of that stuff and say, wow, what are we really going to do, baby? Why are we together? There's your dad, your mom. Here's the movement over here. She knew Andrew Young, Coretta Scott. I mean, she was connected with all of that. I said, well, surely you and I are together for something else, aren't we? So it took us years to kind of work our way through what's going on. But once we figured it out, we said, we're going to do this together no matter what. I said, I know we're going to have issues down the line. Some real challenges are going to come. But you and I are going to work this out, and we're going to figure this out. So I'm not planning some out in the back of my head. Like now they got prenups. A prenuptial was a way you've already figured out that if it goes south, I'm out of this, and this is what I got. We didn't even consider things like that. You know what I mean? We figured out we are going to work this through. And once her and I had to sit down and talk out about what it is, I believe something cemented our relationship and tied us in a bond that we couldn't just break because things didn't work out, or I didn't get my way, she didn't get her way and all. We really became that one flesh. The Bible talks about a man, you marry a woman, now y'all are one. We took that to heart. And I think Hosea Feed the Hungry was the fertile ground that said, now y'all build on this and serve together. And I believe that our love grew, our compassion for others, and empathy. It started creating this in our souls together. So no matter what was going to go on, but we still wanted our careers too. Now, don't be mistaken. She's a fantastic actress right now. She's doing a project now. Because that's all a part of who we are as creative people. That was the other bar. Okay, serving coming together, loving each other first of all, coming together with a bond to serve, and then having creative talents that we could share and do things together and still work on a career. That was another part of it. And we were both people who love going on journeys and searching out things and new experiences. All of that tied us together. And so when it was time for me to consider going to New York, she said, yeah, baby, you gotta go do that. She encouraged me. Even when we were having our first child, she said, yes, you gotta go do what you gotta do. Man, and I love her for that. And she's always been that for me. And I've tried my best to be that for her. I didn't want her wings clipped by me or the community or her dad, the weight of the civil rights. None. I said, you still gotta be free. Mm-hmm. You still gotta fly high, baby. Go, go, go. And I think that's why she loved me the way she does, because she knows I'm always want that best for her. I don't own her. She's not my property. I'm there to enhance and to help her fulfill her purpose.
So, one of the things that I wanted to ask, because, well, first and foremost, your story is definitely a true representation of Black love. And you and your wife are still going strong. And for me, stories like that need to be captured because they're very encouraging, particularly during a time, when it comes to, marriage today, the high divorce rates, and, it's running rampant. And you and your wife, you guys are knocking on 50 years together. The question, becomes, when you see so much divorce happening today, do you think the 50 plus year marriage, do you think that's going extinct? And people, are not really doing the work to actually remain married, that long anymore? Because, that's something, to remain with one person, supportive and loving for 50 plus years, that's, that is a lot. But I think that is the hallmark of what a marriage is, but it's something that is escaping a lot of people. Do you think we'll ever get back to a point where people will get married and stay married 50 plus years?
I believe yes. And it's going to be because we're going to have to survive. So we are going to go back to that. But judging by what my wife and I both came out of, there was divorce on both of our sides of our lineage, of our bloodline. So we already knew that when we came together, that spirit, that entity, that energy was very prevalent on both sides. So we knew we were going to have to work against that by all means. But because we knew it, we made a decision to say, you see what happened over here, and you said, what happened over here. What's going to be different about us? So we had to constantly talk about it and communicate about it. We had to go digging into, why was that? What happened with great granddaddy and grandma? What happened to that? Searching out helped us to determine what we were going to do when our time came of the testing, because it's just a part of life. So my hope, through all the challenges that are about to come down on us as a people, we are going to be forced to look at each other in a brand new way and re-examine, what is this about? What is our destiny as a people? And you cannot separate the strength and the stability of the black marriage and take that away from what the destiny of our people is. They go hand in hand. Without that solid marriage, there's no destiny of our people. The movement was only the movement because those black women said, go out there and do what you got to do. We're going to keep this family together while y'all are out doing that. And matter of fact, we're going to come and play our part in it, and don't try to stop us too. That's the black woman speaking of. Kept us together. I know in my wife's family, he was out there getting locked up and beat, whatever, but he could come home to a place where his wife was saying, I got it ready for you. Here's home. Your children, they're all clean, taken care of, going to school. Same with Dr. King's wife. There wouldn't have been no Dr. King without Coretta Scott King.
Amen.
No way in the world. When you know that story deeper, you know the truth. Wow, that marriage. And it stabilized where the movement was going to go.
And is actually an excellent segue to my next question because, you know, in your origin story, you and your wife's, you know, love story, how you met, you know, seeped in, you know, civil rights struggles. And even fast forward today, it's 2024, you know, it's still a very, you know, it's a very palatable racial tension going on, climate,
Yes.
you know, even with everything going on with the politics, no matter what you're looking, you know, these undertones are still present. They may have been repackaged or look different or sound different and, you know, more up-to-date clothing, but a lot of the tension is still there.
Yes.
Yet you and your wife, you were in a situation where you found love for one another, you bonded. And so my question would be, especially in 2024, how or do you feel Black love is revolutionary?
I don't see how it could be anything but revolutionary. Coming from the roots of such brutality and insanity, that whole plantation slave experience for 400 years, built to destroy the black family, especially the black marriage, the rape and plundering of our women, their precious temple that's holy and precious. And for us to survive all of that, to be where we are today, Black love can't be anything but revolutionary. Because that's what survived against all odds. Here I am, the black man, have to see my woman treated and dealt with any kind of way. Still, it wouldn't break me enough to just let my family go and go off. I still had to say, that's still my woman. I don't care what has happened. And you're not going to destroy us. They made a bond then that we're going to maintain our black family. We're going to maintain our black love. And I think the worse things got, the more revolutionary the love blossomed out of all of that. Every stage of the way, it was a growth, a blossoming of something that the master couldn't destroy. In his worst nightmare, he couldn't bring us to nothingness. That black love was at the root of it. What else was going to keep us sane and moving forward but that revolutionary black love? Nothing else. I'm sorry. Yes, the Bible, the religion, Jesus, Christ, the black church, people, all of that was a part of it, but it was built on black love. Mm-hmm. The preachers, the deaconesses and the deacons and all, they did all of that based on the love that they still had to give. No, black love is revolutionary. You ask the church, you ask the Panthers, you ask the Nation of Islam, you know, you ask these young people out here, big ballers, these folks who are rewriting history. Black love is at the essence of it. They're just trying to find their own way to say this is black love. All those people have accused them of, you know, exploiting black women, calling folk out of their name and this and that. It's a way to find their way back to what the true black love really is. And they are finding their way back to it. I take my hat off to these young black entrepreneurs and entertainers and rappers and sports stars and all, building new wealth for their families. That's black love. That's revolutionary black love, what they're doing. They're creating a whole new path for the great-great-grandchildren of the future to have something to build on. That's love, my brother. That's love doing all of that. But look what it took. It took us to say, I'm with you. We're going to walk this road, and nothing is going to destroy us. Yeah, they took my child and separated her. They took my wife and sent her over to old Master Smith plantation. They tried everything to destroy and separate us. It didn't work. Mm-hmm. Here we are today. And I tell folks, be careful. You could be marrying your cousin from way back in the line. You better recognize. Somebody better tell you something. You know what I mean? Because they try to do all of that stuff. So, but that's the beauty of what we are as a people. Nothing we're the most amazing people on the planet, and everybody got to recognize that. Everybody got to recognize it, and that the essence and the foundation of it is true black love.
You know what? I think that is a great springboard to what I want to ask, because, you know, anyone at any day can get on social media and you can come across so many popular and well-known thought leaders, influencers that have large platforms. And, you know, some of these thought leaders, you know, they push divisive rhetoric, and,
Yes.
you know, some of the messages aren't exactly conducive to building black love or building marriages, so on and so forth. I mean,
Yeah.
you have a lot of noise out there. You have, and this kind of goes to my question, you have a lot of influence out there who feel that marriage doesn't benefit men, particularly black men. You know, you have people, and, you know, these are well-known thought leaders who are encouraging their followers to stay single. Don't get married. You know, most marriages end in divorce. You know, most divorces negatively impact men in particular. And so you have a lot of thoughts and beliefs and values from people out there in present day who are steering clear of marriage, particularly from, you know, black men who feel like, well, we don't benefit. I wholly disagree with that. However, I definitely want to get your opinion. You've been married 47. That is a stretch. That is a great, that's something that, you know, we need more of. But what do you say to the, you know, men following, the men that will be watching this, and they feel like, well, marriage doesn't really benefit men? How would you describe the benefits that marriage has for men, particularly black men?
First of all, I believe they have to be true to themselves. If that's how they really think and believe about it, I'm not going to debate and argue with them that that's not the path for them. Certainly not. You have to find and forge the path that meets the peace of your soul. I think black marriages allows you to somersault into the unimaginable and to leap into the unknown. Nothing else gives you that ability to do that. The single life, I get it. It has its benefits. I was out there too. I enjoyed it. Oh man, knocking around all these sweet ladies, the honeys, and yeah, I get it. But when it came to looking at what the destiny of my bloodline is, now this was different cultures. See, we got disconnected from that, the way our history went and what was done to us. But if you look at the ancient cultures, it was always about the future of that bloodline, that lineage. The worst thing that could happen to a family in antiquity is to be erased from history, which is why the king would come in and take over from the other king, would basically wipe out everybody from that bloodline. That was the worst thing that could happen to you back then. No more of me, of my bloodline, of my name? Oh, wow, what a horror. We've gotten disconnected from all of that, and folks think they can go into that unknown future by themselves. I don't know where that kind of insanity cropped in on us. Somewhere along the way, it seeped in like a bad storm or toxic waste came in. Because marriage, first of all, for me, it has kept me healthy, physically, emotionally, and mentally, knowing that it's not all about me. I don't have to just say, if I don't do it, carry all the burden. That's why all these black men been dying early. I went to a graveyard a few years back to visit my wife's mother, and we always take flowers. And for that particular day, I said, baby, I'm going to go look around. And when I did, over Lincoln Cemetery, the most famous black cemetery here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I started noticing right off the bat that the women lived far longer than the men. 9 out of 10 graves, that was the story. See, I'm one of those kind of guys. I'm going to pick up on stuff because I'm Afemo means one who wants to know, one who needs to know. So that has been my energy
I like that.
for so long, and it's always going to drive me to look and seek. And as I saw that, I'm like, oh my goodness. We kept all of that stuff in us as men, and it was killing us. Women are going to vent. Women are going to get that stuff out of their souls, and they're far healthier and live longer than the average man. So I know that man, even though he died probably earlier than his wife, he lived longer than he would have because she was with him. Mm-hmm. See, I know that already. That woman is part of the longevity factor. Now, you have to also recognize what was important to our ancestors. Enough for them not to just... I often wondered myself, why didn't they just commit suicide when things were so nightmarish and so horrible? They knew their seed had to go on down the line. They were conscious like that. We've been detached from that kind of ancestral consciousness that is beyond us. Mm-hmm. They could see beyond where we are and say, what about down the line? Yeah, this is good for me now. 2 or 3 women, I ain't married to none of them, and I got all these babies around and all, yeah. But they couldn't look down the line to see what the effect of that would be. Mm. That's what has happened to a lot of us. That disconnecting. That's why the Sankofa experience really swept in like a storm back in the 90s, because it was saying, go back and get it, which is literally what it means. That bird is turning back to get his egg, all that our ancestors have given us, to bring to the present and then move that to the unknown future. Because it's all one. They understood the continuity. We've lost that thread. And you see what it's done to us? You see what it's done to us. Many of these young gangbangers, and I've talked to them and I know some of them, out there looking to find where's the family, where's the man, where's the leadership of the black man. We're going to start our own then. When we're out of place. Because I might have decided, well, I'm going to move on now. I'm tired of your mom. I grew up, my father wasn't there for me and my family, my mom. And man, I would hurt some days. Where is he? Why wouldn't he want me? I struggled with that for years. A lot of other black men and women looking for their daddy out there, and some of these crazy fools looking for that. I get it. So no. Looking down the line as to what's going to help us survive as a people and not only exist but thrive, it can only be built on black love, that's built on black marriages, that's built on the stability of the family. Nothing else is going to do that. Yes, I believe in us finding our spiritual path. Some people say it's Christianity, Judaism, Islam, whatever. Still, it has to be built on a love foundation. Or it's just words, it's dogma, it's doctrine. That's the only thing that can hold up when it all wants to cave in on us as a people. My heart was broken the other day. Chicago, you're going to stop my brother on a traffic jam and end up shooting 96 bullets into my man? No, no, you can't do that to us. That's when the black marriage, the black family, the rage should pour forth. That's the power it has. That single voice here and there, yeah, it has its place. But nothing can come in like that voice of that black marriage that's crying out for the blood of their child. That's the power we have. You dismiss that and you dilute it with this single life experience idea. I get that, but when it's time to make a move and you shift society, it can only be done from the stable family that's moving forward in love and working through the problems. I brought that example in because it's all tied in. It's not an isolated thing over here that has nothing to do with marriage and the true longevity of us as a people. It's tied in to our purpose and what our real destiny is beyond where we are right now. So we have to press forward and go deeper and deeper and to find out what can we do to make our black love even more supernatural.
I love it. I love it. I think that is an excellent, perfect place. We're going to close this out. And I'm telling you, your words have certainly been prolific. And I can't wait for my subscribers and my viewers to watch this because, again, the thought and consciousness that I had coming into this was about getting your thoughts and how it relates to black love and why black love is revolutionary. And you definitely got the assignment correct. And this has been eye-opening, and I can't wait for my subscribers to see this because, again, that is a very important thing in today's, in the times we're living in today. Black love and why it's so necessary.
Can I share something?
Absolutely. Go for it.
This is what I would like the people who will see this and hear this to know. My prayer is going to be that your heart is constantly broken every day for each other, for your love, for your family, your children. It takes a constant breaking of our hearts to be available for each other. The hardness comes in when we no longer give access to that. We can lose each other in the darkness when the light of our ancestors is showing us, come this way. Come this way. Why do you think we survived? Because we saw into the future that you would be doing what you're doing, and it gave us hope to go through this horror. My prayer is that your heart be broken day after day, so you'll never lose your way as far as, wow, where is this black love going? It'll show us the way. But if you're not on that path, then there is no path for you. But to be lost in what the society is telling us, and we know how crazy that is. Especially the people who enslaved us. How in the world are they going to teach us about black love and what real marriage is? They don't know. And yet many of us flocking to listen to them, be taught by their little gurus and little master teachers in these master classes. No, no, no. Go back to your own roots. Go back to here with grandma, granddaddy. Sit up under their feet long enough to get that wisdom. We don't want to do that. We want to just go our own way. They don't know anything. Please, I pray your heart be broken to go back to the roots of what gave you black love from the origins of Africa on to where we are now. That is my prayer for you. And I hope you hear me, because this is personal. And if I say nothing else, or you never come across me again in life, you gotta know it's up to you and me to establish this black love in the next dimension of consciousness. Because what else is gonna move this planet past the war? Past the sex trafficking, past the drought, the famine, the craziness, the war, the cartels, nothing's going to move us forward but the consciousness of true black love. It's going to elevate the rhythm and vibration of our planet. Nothing else is going to do that. So that's my message to you. Save our planet by going deeper into black love.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay.
Don't get me started now.
I wish that coffee wasn't mine.
I'm going to pass the plate for an offering or something. What y'all think? It ain't free.
We
I'm going to pass
you. We got a whole sermon. Thank you so much. This has been
my pleasure, man.
But before we cut out of here, would you like to give my viewers and subscribers, how they can find you on social media or your website, the work you've been doing with Hosea? How can people, if people want to reach out to you and or, want to help contribute towards Hosea Helps, how can they best do that?
They can best do that by going to the number 4, HOSEA.org. That's the number 4, Hosea.org. I'm going to make it simple for you. And then you can look us up on Facebook, Elizabeth Omilami, Afemo Omilami. We still do that, but I don't participate as much in that now because I found it kind of counterproductive in a lot of ways. People are trolling for the wrong reasons. Instead of lifting people up, they're looking for whatever's going to tear somebody down. They be happy when marriages go awry. And no. Go to that website. See how you can help serve. Or come and make a donation to help us keep going. Because it takes money to do this kind of work. The number 4, Hosea.org. And I can't wait for you to come down and be a part of this Love Fest.
That's what I'm talking about. And we're going to make it easy for everybody. We're going to make sure that the links are in the description, so all you got to do is click on it.
There you go.
We're taking the hard work, out of it. So just look at the description. You'll find this information. And, everything you need to be right there. And I trust that we will see y'all down here helping, and just continuing the legacy of Hosea Williams. Afemo, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I most certainly appreciate this.
Thank you.
And based on what you said, I hope to run across you again. I hope our paths can cross again because this needs to be a part 2. I think there's so much more that we should get from you concerning the subject matter. And one video just ain't gonna cut it. So I definitely hope to.
I would do that.
Oh, yes.
Especially for the young talent out there knowing, how do I navigate this business?
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother master class right there. Because they need it. Because they're getting caught up in some things that's not good for their career or for them spiritually. To say that they got to do this kind of stuff to make a headway in our business.
Mm.
So the next time you and I get together, I want to definitely deal with that.
All right. Well, hey, sequel coming soon, everybody. Make sure you stay tuned, everybody out there. If you can, go ahead, drop a like on this video, drop some comments, but most importantly, and I can't stress it enough, most importantly, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. Afemo Omilami, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Indeed. And everybody out there, stay tuned. And this is Trey Amazing, and we will see y'all again. Stay tuned, and holla back. Peace.